Never have a pair of glasses.
Are you ready? Y'all ready? Oh, it's after 6.
Hey, Lori.
There's been some stuff
I'm not going to vote for it.
Norman for you. Wait. Norman might be on there. I thought.
You don't know what the usage is going to be every month.
Yeah, but there's a
Right there.
Everybody's got every policy.
Yeah, then there's a simple.
It's commercial.
And there you are.
Yeah, those are the three.
Scott?
We're good?
I don't mind
Yeah,
the phone.
we're good.
I don't use it for
Will they call him?
just in case I have to.
No, they're not calling. You need to call them.
Oh, okay. That's what I'm saying. So you know they're not gonna.
Oh, no, but they're not here.
She's using something down here, but
I haven't seen that.
well, she's got them. I don't know where she keeps them. What was funny, she got to have him sent to the office.
I was waiting for her to come up here.
She was embarrassed that he was coming to her.
Okay, so
That was like, yeah, your mom gets mail every day. Okay, he's turned inside out. There's more mail in the mailbox for Brandy than there was electric system.
That's one. That's my big size.
What is this?
It's Sunny Hall, Ronnie Hall. Oh, it's not in there? They already took it out then. You need me to get something where it'll work? Okay.
We're not going to rob
Okay.
anybody.
Tear the back of your cardboard off. Will you give the invocation?
Yeah, I got to get back. I got to get back in
I'm so sorry.
where we here. You're right.
Yeah, she was a great woman.
All rise. Benton County Commission is now in session. Roseanne Ward, Chair.
Commissioner Nunry will lead us in an invocation tonight.
Please bow. Dear Heavenly Father, thank you for bringing us here together to discuss these things tonight. Please wrap your hands around us and let us make good, cool, calm decisions. Please maintain control for us and bless the decisions that we do make. All these things we ask in your name. Amen.
Amen.
Commissioner Keen, would you lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance?
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Right, before we have the roll call, I'd like to announce that this is a county commission meeting. It is a business meeting, and it will be conducted as a business meeting. There will be no outburst. If you have something that you would like to say or you want to ask, please raise your hand, and if it's the appropriate time, you will be acknowledged. During the citizens forum, if you have a question for the speaker, raise your hand on that too. We will not allow any disrespectful comments, No calling anybody names. If that happens, you will be asked to leave the meeting. So that is the first warning for tonight. We want to be respectful to you, but we also want everyone to be respectful to the commission also. So now we will have roll call, please, Ms. Clerk. Ms.
Angie Hearn. Norman Frazier. Sonny Hall. Ronnie Hopper. We have a quorum of 4 absent.
Mr. Furr, Mr. Miller.
This is disconnected, but he did push present.
There we go.
4 absent. 14 present.
Okay, we do have a quorum. Next on our agenda is the approval of the agenda. You've got a question? Okay, yeah. There will be an amendment to the agenda tonight. It's number 24 on your agenda, needs correcting. I think it was, the amount of $550 will be amended to $1,050. So I need a motion that we amend number 24 on your agenda.
Motion. Wouldn't we do that when it comes up?
No, if we don't amend what it says on this line item, then we're not approving the agenda as it is, see? Okay. Okay, who made the motion? Commissioner Ferguson, and a second by Commissioner Stokes. Okay, all in favor of the amendment, signify by saying aye. Aye. Anyone opposed? Okay, line number 24 on the agenda has been amended, so now we can go forward with approving the agenda as it was amended. It's changed to $1,050.
Madam Chair?
Yes.
Give us just a second to fix the computer.
Sure.
Well, the resolution is correct.
Yeah, the resolution stands correct. It was just on the agenda that it was wrong.
7, I mean, sorry.
Bill, that's the list. I'd like to know the list, Madam Chairman.
Okay, I'll put your name down, Mr. Peach.
Madam Chair, we're ready for a vote for the amendment.
Okay, for the amendment?
For the amendment.
Okay.
Is this a vote?
It was a voice vote, and they all voted aye, and there were no one opposed.
As amended now.
Now we will vote on the agenda as it was amended just now.
As amended. Yes, this is a voice vote.
Yeah, all in favor? Aye. Anyone opposed? Okay, the agenda has been approved as it was amended. Next is the citizens forum, and I will take the names as they're listed on here. The first one is Ben Richardson. And I'd like to remind everybody you have 5 minutes.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Ben Richardson, National Weather Service Storm Spotter Coordinator, and also I fulfill the role of the National Weather Service Weather Ready Nation Ambassador for Benton County. About 4 years ago, myself and members of the Weather Spotting Network first approached Mayor Lashley and other committee members with their weather safety concerns for Benton County, as recent studies had shown a shift in what is typically known as Tornado Alley. 3 years ago, we organized a fully trained spotter network under the direct supervision of EMA Director Key. At this time, everyone in the spotter network began lobbying with Debbie Cal for the Code Red Alert system. In April of 2020, yes you, each and every one of you voted to save lives by approving that partnership that got the county the Code Red Alert system. Just weeks after that, on March 2nd, 2020, at 11:03 p.m., Camden was struck by an EF2 tornado, causing 1 death and 2 injuries that needed medical attention, along with massive damage along the path just west of 641 to the river and beyond. This storm was later tracked to become the EF4 tornado that hit Middle Tennessee. The day after this devastating event, numerous people, and I do mean numerous people, have stated the same thing. They only had minutes from the time they received the code red alert and the tornado struck their homes. They all said the code red system saved their lives. They had enough time to make it to safety. That's thanks to each and every one of you in this room right here tonight. I just wanted to point that out. As I have stated to you all before, you've all seen me before, the national average between the tornado warning being issued and confirmed tornado on the ground per the National Weather Service and Storm Prediction Center is just 13 minutes. In a county that is mostly senior citizens, mainly in trailers, we have 13 minutes to get them to a safe space. This is mine and the other spotters that are here tonight main concern. Radar is a great tool, but it has its limitations, worst of which being distance from the radar station. The further you go away from the radar, the less image you see. So the computer takes over, and basically computer generates what it thinks is happening below. In our area, none of the local National Weather Service offices that I've shown can see anything below 5,000 feet. Your phone apps, the National Weather Service, the federal government, the FAA, nobody can see anything in our area below 5,000 feet. It's just the way it is. This right here indicates all of our closest National Weather Service offices. That's where all your radar data comes from. It's from them National Weather Service offices. Everything. What's being proposed to you today can potentially expand the warning time significantly for everyone from Paducah to Nashville to Jackson, along with the commercial air and river traffic. That's how big a deal what is being proposed to you is. I've given you after speaking with the technicians, with Mr. Key when they were on the on-site inspecting the water tower, this is the distance they're going to cover. This radar is specifically being built and designed to cover the radar gap that we live under. But it doesn't just affect us. It affects everybody around us for 80 miles. 3 National Weather Service offices, numerous EMA departments. The list goes on and on. We save lives once here in the county. What you're being proposed tonight has the potential to save lives in the whole region. This is truly a historic event for all of West Tennessee. And we have been blessed enough with the opportunity to take part in this. Now, you guys would know better than I do. You've seen the contract, apparently. But the way I understand it, Climate Vision is proposing to you tonight, they're going to install, operate, maintain, pay for everything to do with this radar system that they're simply asking you for permission to put on our water tower at $0 cost to the county. Not one tax dollar will be spent for this radar system. In fact, as part of the agreement, the yearly water tank inspection that Camden Water has to do, Climate Vision's taking that cost over. Since their radar's there, they're going to pay for the inspection. And on top of that, as part of the meetings Mr. Key and all of us attended, this went all the way up to the people that I know at the National Weather Service who made recommendations about this system. Per their recommendations, Kenny Sheriff's Office and the dispatcher, who happens to be a fellow spotter coordinator, will have direct access to that radar data at all times, again, for free. It costs us nothing. Nothing. Our school superintendent, our school principals, again, will all have access to this radar. So before that principal makes the decision to whether or not to send them school buses on the highway or hold them back 10 minutes, he'll have that information right at his hand, right where the storm is coming from. We spoke about the rescue squad, the sheriff's office, the county EMA. Everybody who's a decision maker involving lives will have direct access to this, again, costing the county $0. Not one penny will be spent from the county for this radar system. For that, I have to commend you guys. I really do. Thank you, each and every one of you, for taking our weather concerns seriously. When we first came to you 4 years ago, remember 4 years ago, I set out 3 goals for you. Well, one of them's sitting right there. It is right there. That took us 3 years to achieve. The radar took us 4. But it's here. It's on your lap. We set the example right now nationally for a spotter network. Our
Thank you,
county,
Mr. Richardson.
our
Your time
county
is
is
up.
noted.
Thank you.
Just wanted to point this out, ma'am.
Okay, and we thank you very much.
Phone's a lot easier.
Christy Baldwin.
Hey guys, most of you saw me, an hour ago, whenever I got to speak then, but there are a few that are here since I got up and spoke. Number one, I would like to say thank you to the Budget Committee and to the ones that were here earlier at the meeting doing. I appreciate all you've done. I love that the budget seems to not ask for a tax hike. That's incredible. That's all I was asking for. And I just want to say thank you again for all that y'all have done, and really consider truly passing this budget that seems to be breaking even and doing us a good job. Thank you.
Thank you, Christy. Next is Debbie Baldwin.
Well, I'm here tonight to pat you on the back and say thanks for the job you do. I know it's been a hard budget, and it's been a lot of strain on everybody, but I appreciate all of your hard work on it. I appreciate y'all listening to the citizens, listening to business people, all the people that you have contacted and asked questions of. That shows a good sign from our commission, and I want to tell all of you I appreciate that. I hope that for the next few months that we can all work together and see things happen for our city and our county. I'd love to see everybody work together wholeheartedly. May not happen, but I would love to see everybody work together. Not have any tomfoolery or whatever you want to call it, as we've had some things said and done. So let's just work together the best we can. And thank y'all again.
Thank you, Debbie. Next is Mr. Peach, James Peach.
Thank you, Madam Chairman. I have a question about number 15. Resolution transfers funds in the amount of $225,000 within the Benton County school budget. What is this for, and what does it do?
Is that resolution number 15?
Yes.
Number 15 on your...
Okay. Well, I will say that it is a transfer within their budget. It's not new money. If you want more explanation, Mr. Florence is in the audience. You want him to explain to you?
Yeah, I'd like to have a lot of information from Mr. Florence. I asked Mr. Florence a question regarding the bidding of projects, and he advised me that was handled by Rich, some group. He didn't have any information on when they solicit bid for certain projects. It's apparently handled by outside entity. I found that very interesting. And is the school system a private entity within our government, similar to the county commission? I'd like to know that, because it looks like the the education system is run like it's not responsible to the county commission. Buying and selling of property. The county commission has no influence, from what I understand, on buying and selling of property. I think that should be under the county commission. I don't think schools need to be dealing in property. They need to be dealing in education. Why? I don't understand. I used to be chairman of the school board at that time. I can assure you, of course, we had a superintendent, elected superintendent at that time, and we had a very serious debate on issues. I remember reviewing the enrollment at the Holiday School, which I graduated in Holiday a long time ago, and I saw one of my cousins that was still on the roll. He'd been out of school for 10 years. So I started looking further. There was 30-something students on the rolls that some of them had even passed away. And I looked at Mr. King, I said, Mr. King, this is a big problem. I said, we need to take care of this today, and he took care of it. But I think we need to take a very serious look at all economic activities that's carried on by the school system. I think it's very important to do this. People need to ask questions, because the people of this county is one pay the taxes. And we're going to have a huge increase in tax revenue over the next couple of years because of new construction. Just at Bass Bay, it's going to be a lot of money. A piece of property near my farm was supposed to sell for $450,000, sold for $740,000. So there's going to be a lot of revenue coming in. But I really want transparency in our government. I want the government to make sure that the people understand what's going on. It's very important, because this is the people's government. And we need to make sure as a people that remains that way. The only power you have is the power that's given to you by the people, and it's very important we understand that. If we get beyond that point, we're in trouble, just like we're in Washington right now. Thank you for your time.
Thank you, Mr. Peach. Is there anyone else that did not sign up that would like to say something right now before we move on? Okay, Mr. Truill, you're recognized. And you want to reset it, yeah?
So I didn't finish on my...
And you can watch the screen up there for
I
your
won't
5
take
minutes.
that long. I won't take that long.
Okay.
Just following up, because where I left off, and we were talking about the Walmart, this Walmart purchase. I mean, whatever's done is done, right? I control the controllables. You've got on E, I think E and F and G, you have some mention of Walmart buildings, right? And then 100,000 committed to Walmart, and then you have miscellaneous, which street guy told me if you identify that it's Walmart or school, why is it miscellaneous? I don't know. I'm just pointing it out. There's 900,000 in there for the Walmart building project. I don't know. I think it's on D, but if you look at D, there's also a line. I don't know what it is. Maybe you guys have the quick answer, but it's inline funding. Loan. Okay, that's fine. And like I said, I'll go back. I mean, some of these questions, I threw out there because I didn't know the answer. That's why I'm asking. And I didn't get a lot of answers from anybody, including your financial person. So I'm going to take that. We don't know a lot of the answers, guys. I'm not saying I do either. But if I could go out here for just a minute, and I'm done almost, but if I put a Little League reference out here for you guys, and I put a ball team together, and I was going to play you on ball, but it's a financial game, right? Now let me go out and get my financial team. Let me run out here and get Amanda Lambden or Chris Nunnery, and get somebody from Carroll Bank and Trust, because me and Mike Carey used to be college roommates. Like, tap into some resources, you know. I just don't think that, I know that I wouldn't have, I doubt any of those guys would have taken it upon themselves to know it all and just go ahead and push this through. I would put it to the people, and that's my professional opinion. I don't have anything against. I've known Roseanne since she's a little girl. I don't have anything against you. I'm just saying, as a matter of courtesy, I would do that. And on top of that, I mentioned earlier about how Brett had a standard of care that I respected. Not that I'm going to vote for Brett. I don't know who I'm voting for, but I respected that standard of care. You had an interim mayor that wasn't elected that signed off on this, and I don't think that standard of care was exercised. That's my professional opinion. He's supposed to be held to a higher standard, just like our mayor. Not only is he an interim mayor, he's a doctor. So if we're going to practice standard of care, let's practice standard of care. I don't think that was taken. I'll leave it at that, and like I said, I would just respect it, remove it, elect it, and then implement it or dissolve it. And that's all I got to say about it. Thanks.
Yes, you may.
I want to just address something that he said, that he didn't even get answers from your financial person. My job is not to respond to the public in general. I respond to the budget committee and the county commission because that's who's contracted my services. So I had answers for your question, but it's not my place to respond to them. I'm a CPA, I'm a CGMA. I have serviced 5 years on the TSCPA Government and Accounting Committee getting record with the Comptroller's Office. I would just say I had answers, but it wasn't my place to respond.
And I respect all that, but it does appear to me, based on what I've observed, you guys haven't talked about that amongst yourselves, and I'll leave it.
Well, some of the things you brought up don't apply to governmental accounting.
Well, they may not, but we still want, everybody in the county would like to know what's going to go into it. Nobody knows, and so you have to start from the basis, right? That's all we're trying to do.
Okay, we're going to move on to number 3, which is our Commissioners Forum. Do we have any commissioner that would like to speak? Commissioner Hill, you're recognized.
Yes. This past month, a few things came to my attention, and I really do want to address them. It has come to my attention that the women who work in the mayor's office have on a regular basis been subjected to citizens, commissioners, elected officials, screaming at them, calling them names, being disrespectful, being very extremely ugly. Now, Mr. Trull, you said you went in there and didn't get the information you wanted, but you didn't tell the whole story. Apparently, you yelled, screamed, called names to the point where people were coming out of other offices to see what was going on.
That's your description. Remember, that's your description.
Yes, that's my description.
That's your description. I get the address, right?
Yes,
That's
sir.
your description.
Okay, let her speak, Mr. Trull, and then you can answer.
And if people aren't sure of that, I'm sure that any citizen could ask the assessor's office or others which description is more accurate.
Are we transparent now?
Mr. Trull, let her speak, okay? And then you can respond.
And even among commissioners, elected officials, citizens, when citizens came and addressed the budget committee, they gave impassioned pleas. They were vehement. They were very firm in what they said. That's not disrespectful. It's not ugly. Those are citizens bringing concerns. Some were angry. That's A-okay. Where we have lost it is people who come to this podium and scream and glare and stomp. When you have to resort to those levels to get your point across, where you just keep increasing your volume and talking over, to me that weakens your argument. If you have to resort to that, maybe your argument is not that credible. But regardless, no one deserves to be treated that way. I don't care if it's the girl in the drive-thru at McDonald's who messed up your order. I don't care if it's a county commissioner, if it's a secretary in one of these elected offices. We as a country have forgotten how to be kind to each other, how to disagree with each other and still look at that person. We talk to each other in ways that if it were recorded, we would be ashamed of ourselves. So today, and I wasn't going to bring this up, but today, I was brought something that Mr. Trull posted, and it says, "Dear County Commissioners, at the meeting on Tuesday night, please time to look to the left and right of you. You will not be on the commission next year. We will find someone to replace your sorry, all-knowing asses. It ain't no fun when the rabbit's got the gun, and there's a person with a rabbit mask pointing a gun." That is really unprofessional. It's horrible. And I would never, ever do something like that to another person. So please, let's all elevate ourselves a little bit. I know everyone gets crazy every 4 years in Benton County, but let's hold ourselves to a higher standard and treat each other with a little more respect. That's all I have to say.
Thank you, Commissioner Hill. Mr. Trull, you can respond.
Real quick, I mean, are we more transparent? I hope we are. And two, I'm not a rabbit. I hope you do understand there's from Facebook in real life.
Sir, I would not, may I respond? I would not put anything on Facebook or anywhere else that I would be ashamed for my mother to read.
That's good. Thank you.
Okay, we're going to move on. Do we have another commissioner that would like to speak? Commissioner
I'd
Ward?
like to bring the attention, counterpart, Angie Hearn, her grandmother had passed away, so
Oh.
that's the reason she's out tonight. I'd also like everybody to keep in mind that our mayor has COVID. That's the reason you don't see him tonight, so he needs some prayers also. Thank you.
Any other commissioner? Commissioner Fowler?
I'd like to talk about the Walmart building, how we got to the situation with the Walmart building. The Walmart building, that hasn't cost the taxpayers a dime yet. The Walmart building is a different avenue than down at the Lockhart building. There's nothing in the future that if the Walmart building proceeds forward, then of course it'll be just like anything with utilities. But the 2-point-something million dollars, I might be off a little bit, that Brett had borrowed to go into the Walmart building has been transferred to there. We give $750,000 for that Walmart building. There's nothing, all this money was already done. There was a petition started to stop the 6.5 million for a lot more things down there. We would be in a little bit more trouble, but money right now, folks, just remember, there is nothing on the taxpayers' dollars right now. We talk about putting this in front of the forum, in front of the people to vote on. It did in that petition, and we stopped 6.5. We still got that, but we didn't vote on that. This is just a little, and if it comes down to it and it ain't going to work out, then I'm sure there's a way you work it around and sell it and do something different. But would you want your ag extension down there? We talked about, at the time, people was talking about Country and Western. That's a great thing. But when Country and Western had that disaster, did they build back there? No, they didn't. So why do we want to even attempt to build in something that has the flooding problems? And you say, oh, I ain't never seen flood. I seen it flood 2 years ago up there floating a car, floating a little truck. But, there is no money from the taxpayers that hasn't already been borrowed from to build the ag extension. You've got money for your senior citizen center. That's it. But if it don't pan out, folks, it ain't cost you nothing yet. We'll sell it, do something else. Let the people that look into this, your certified people, and make a decision. Where are you going to buy a building like that for $750,000? We got $300,000 almost in the Lockhart building and them old rundown buildings, and a lot of people look at all that gravel around there. Guess what? We don't own all of that. Mr. Deadman owns approximately maybe less than an acre right there. That ain't even our land. So please, I wasn't a big fan of the Walmart building, but if it meant that we had to do something down there or over there, you better believe I'm going to do it on 641. If anybody don't see that, that's it. But there is no tax things have cost you other than what in the last 3 or 4 years that have been eased up. And luckily the budget committee found money to solve it, to keep it under. We spoke in the budget meeting earlier. We talk about your taxes not went up. Your taxes went up approximately $300,000 due to the reevaluation of your homes. So if the commission hadn't knocked down that 13 or 19 cents, is that what it was?
15 cents.
15 cents, you'd be paying a lot more. It's done good, but just know the Walmart building did not cost you. It's not cost you nothing in taxes that hadn't been brewing for the last 2 years, 3 years. That's it.
Okay, anyone else? Any other commissioner?
I'd just like to address that one thing. I know we both have different opinions.
Yes, sir.
Comptroller, Mr. Bunny, said one thing, don't take this APR money and go out and index yourself to a debt. Before we had grants, now been grants cut out for the Lockhart building. I know some says it ain't, but these are new buildings. It ain't the old building. Come back down there and do it. Everybody hollers in a flood zone. A portion. My own heart, none of it needs to be done with the times this has changed. I think our money's tighter now than it was a year and a half ago. But don't say that Walmart ain't gonna cost you something. Now, we bought it with part of the APR money. We bought it. You're looking at least $7 million to transmit to make it. Where's that gonna come from? Now, remember, comptroller said, do not buy with this money, there's something's gonna indebt you in time. Now, you can't tell me we ain't gonna be indebted every time we turn around, why don't we put another building? It's gonna continue to grow, and not only that, we took roughly $25,000, that's, you gonna say, we paid $80,000, 86 for the block card, I think it was.
wrong.
That one piece of property, that's what it was.
You got about 300 there.
Well, I don't know what, that's in part of what we all approved to be ready to build. Stuff that was done, surveying and this, that, and other. It went in, but when they stopped it, all that money's dead, it's gonna be wasted. But I'm telling you, Walmart is a box of money that you're gonna put in every time you come in there to spend. $7 million will not touch it before it's over.
Yeah, and I agree with you. It's gonna take money just like it would took down there.
But it costs taxpayers.
And eventually, it's going to, if we continue with it or whatever, as long, unless there's grants for it and things of that nature. I agree with you 100%. As of right now, you give the LRP money back, sell the place. I mean, be fine. Keep everybody where they're at.
The Lockhart building was made and showed to this commission. We had over a year and a half to 2 years of town hall meetings about it. All the public knew about it. That may not be everybody's choice, but we had town hall meetings. We discussed it. Everybody went along with it at the time. So we invested in it. Everybody voted for it, every commissioner.
I did.
But then when Mr. Shannon comes in and they look at Walmart, it was at $4 million. They dropped the price. Well, then the oversight committee that I said done it, took it and said, no, we ain't gonna stop this down here. We had grants. It was a turnkey lot of the dollars gonna cost. The city was gonna be a part of it. You don't know it all now. I was here before you was. We done a lot of planning. But now, we've got a building out here that is destructive. And it's like I said, you're gonna spend $7 million in it or more just to get it rehabilitated for anything.
It probably will take quite a bit, and that's what I'm saying. But if you look at what is best for the county right now, you're gonna get an ag extension down here for $2-3 million, and you're not gonna have your senior citizens if it does work out that way. I agree with you. If it's
Okay, I think we need to move on because we can sit here and argue about this Walmart all night long. Commissioner Stokes?
No, I've been sitting here watching Rocky devour this cupcake, and I just need to, there's a little explanation that needs to be made about those. Nikki Green had brought those, and she missed an opportunity to come up and speak. I'd like to give her my 5 minutes to speak.
I thought she spoke.
She did during the budget, but not during
Okay.
during this.
So you're giving her your 5 minutes?
Yes.
Okay, Nikki, you're recognized. Please come.
Sponsor Steve mentioning my name. It's the best cupcake I've ever had.
I bet it is. I bet it is.
Sure look good.
They look great.
Hey, those are strawberry shortcake cupcakes. Miss Trudy made them, so they're delicious. They barely made it here, that's all I'm gonna say. That was a long drive smelling those.
So I spoke to most of y'all earlier. We're having an event at Birdsong. It's called Red, White, and Boom.
Benton County.
Benton County. And it's a 4-day music festival. It kicks off on July 1st that night, and it's going to go through July 4th. On the night of July 4th, we got the Jimmy Church Band coming. I didn't know who that was, but apparently everybody else did, and everybody's excited. So we've got concerts every night. We've got a Build-A-Boat Derby. We've got a kids fishing rodeo. We have packed every day.
Boat parade.
Oh, and the boat parade, which all of y'all are invited to come participate.
Which was a huge event when we had Bo Duke here back last year. Okay.
So we went to TRRD last month to get funds for this. We have, when I tell you this is the most, we've brought in ice skating rinks, and I didn't think I could do it, or we could do it for that amount. We've done all of these events. Y'all, we've kept this event to $15,000. And that's a 4-day event. I mean, I have nitpicked, pennied and dimed. We went to TRD last month. They only had $4,000 available at that time. So tonight, I'm asking if y'all can move some of their money where it needs to go so we can have the rest of the funds to do this event. We're lacking $11,000. I've paid everything I can pay so far, but we're getting to the point now that I've got to start making everybody else happy. But I would...
He said you're going to get a lot.
Well, I mean, if you want to give me more, you're more than welcome. I do take donations. So, but,
And this is from the TRRD money, which comes from the state of Tennessee, which is no demand from the county, okay? And through our sales tax dollars, when we enacted the TRRD funding for the Tennessee River Group, these sales taxes were given to the 9 counties bordering the Tennessee River, from the Mississippi border all the way to the Kentucky border. So each county gets their own funding. And one of my goals is to coordinate with the state of Tennessee and bring the Tennessee River more aware. Okay, bring more bus groups in, more hotel rooms. And y'all all been aware of last week's Tennessee River Jam through Henry County. And you know, they've had
we're tired of being the ugly red-headed stepchild. We're ready to have something in Benton County that brings in the tourism like Henry County does. Because I don't know if y'all have looked at the numbers yet or not. That thing was huge. There were thousands upon thousands upon thousands of people there. And we can do that here.
We went, my wife and I stopped in there Thursday night for Marshall Tucker Brand. And they had the whole court square blocked off. And for just as far as you could see, people in chairs. There was an event every night for 4 nights. Working with that county and our county together, and Humphreys County and perhaps Hardin County in years to come, we'll be able to bring in a whole month worth of Tennessee River Jam, okay, by handshaking, erasing our county lines, and using those TRD monies that are in every county to come together and make one big, massive, month-long event that will be nationwide. So I'm going to be working hard with the Henry County Chamber. And I'm
Travis McNeese.
Travis McNeese. I met with the... Huh?
Be like the Buckaroo.
Well, Bonnaroo, Buckaroo. We'll call it Riveroo, you know.
We could. We wasn't supposed to say that out loud.
But anyway, these funds, we came in a little late. We came in a little late to the TRD, and they were out of funds at the end of the fiscal year. So we're just asking to transfer some of their funding over to their budget. And okay, look, I got 18 seconds.
No, you got
I got more than that.
I'll give you mine.
He'll give me 5. Okay.
What's your question?
Does
ma'am?
anybody?
Do we know what line item you're needing to move the funds from and to?
I know what it goes into, I just need to know what it comes from.
Okay, where is it going to?
I think Casey Hicks, that's on the board, I think she's trying to reach Mr. Stockdale to get that information for us.
I have the account it goes into. It's just where it comes from.
Okay.
But nobody can get mad because it don't actually come out of Benton County's budget. And we brought cupcakes, so.
Cupcakes are just a bonus.
Okay.
Let's see, who had one?
Does anybody have a
Did you get one,
question
Rocky?
about it?
I did.
You did. Was it good?
Best cupcake I've ever had.
I didn't make them.
And I've got one suggestion. Your, the festival's called Red, White, and Boom.
Benton County.
Benton County.
This is just up for consideration. Would you consider changing it to Red, White, and Bob?
No.
No.
And for the record, Red, White, and Boom, the city of Cookeville does the same thing, and their mayor does that every year.
It's on a much smaller scale.
And on a much, much smaller scale. And we've been doing fireworks for, I know, 60 years. And it's been a free event. It's all donations, comes out of my pocket and several other entities around. Our neighbor, Wildlife Cove, is part of it, and a lot of our tenants donate. And so the county is not liable for any fireworks and any mishaps. We've got an excellent pyrotechnic crew that experience, so.
And a fire department that's right there the whole time.
EMA Director Key brings his pumper down there, so we're all good. Everybody has a great time.
Should we tell them about the catch-all, that if they pass this tonight, what they got to do?
No.
Okay, I don't want y'all to panic, but I've got all the cardboard and duct tape you need to build your boat and float it 100 yards.
We did that about 25 or 30 years ago when WPHC wanted to put on an event, and they said, let's have a bathtub race. And yeah, let's do it. So they put together, and we had about 25 different entries, DNC parts, motor parts, Sherry Brandon, Clyde Moore, they all put together different, like the soapbox derby. And So now you can bring your duct tape and cardboard or styrofoam
Or a bathtub, as long as it ain't got a motor. Like, I'm open to whatever will float, or if it don't float, that would be even funnier.
Yeah, if it floats.
So, I mean, just where you have to wear a life jacket.
And it's 1 horsepower human, that's all it takes. So, you know, you've got to have a paddle. So fun for all, fun for the whole family, something every day for 4 days. And we look to grow that year after year. And since all these counties have this TRD money, they don't call that in every county. It's, and I remember when we were enacting that through the state legislature, State Representative John Tidwell was kind of the mastermind of this, and before Representative Peach was in office. And so Governor Bredesen wanted to do something, and we suggested that we have the Tennessee River Trail. And we invented the Tennessee River Trail, which was the 9 counties bordering the Tennessee River, which is in 2 different developmental districts, Middle Tennessee and West Tennessee. Well, West Tennessee is divided up into Northwest and Southwest. And Upper Cumberland, Nashville, is in your counties up around Houston and Stewart. Well, then the county south around Waynesboro was in another. So the Interstate 40 bridge, when you look at it, is in 4 different developmental districts, depending on which way you turn in the middle of the bridge. And so we wanted to do something together. So we convinced Governor Bredesen to take us a little bit of money out of the sales tax, which would be reoccurring, okay? If we grow, they grow, and the money grows, and so every county. So he liked the concept, and his words were to me in a public forum like this, was it's like pushing me down on a sword. But they gave us the money through Economic and Community Development and the part of the Tennessee Department of Tourism. And as I was on the Governor's Board of Tourism at the time, we got the money, and it allowed every county to vote it in. And so Benton was one of them, and I think Bill Key was your county chamber director. And of course, it brought in liquor by the drink, okay, which was part of it, just like the town of Gatlinburg. Back in the day, when they decided to put the Tennessee, they called it back then the Tennessee Resort District Act. We took it as the Tennessee River Resort District Act. Okay, so that's in the books, and it's there to stay. And the money we try to use, and the TRD funding board here does a real good job with it. Stephen Stokes and all the fine people that are on that. So,
I do.
Thank you for your 5 minutes.
Thank you.
I gave it to Scott already, and this comes from the TRRD reserve account, so we can do that.
It don't come out of the general.
No.
It's Fund 128. Page 46, in the current budget, in the upcoming budget. But the problem is that you can't draw funds in advance of the budget, in advance of July 1st. So the only way that you could get them funds prior to July 1st would do a budget amendment for the year you're in, the 21-22 budget. You have to do a budget amendment for that, but you can't draw it for the 23 budget in advance.
But we have our TRRD reserve budget. Does that matter if we already have that reserve budget?
Did you already have it budgeted for 22 and it hasn't been spent?
I don't know whether you spent your 22 funds or not.
Yeah, according to what this shows that it was spent, but I may not have more accurate information. This may be my estimates.
Okay, why don't we move on with the meeting, and when we get to this, when this comes up, when we suspend our rules to take care of this, we'll decide all this, and maybe by the time we get there, everybody's got it decided on where it needs to come from and transfer to. Okay?
I can bring more cupcakes, that's all I'm saying. Thank y'all.
Appreciate you.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Okay, let's say we need to move on. Mr. Richardson?
Ma'am, I wasn't going to say anything at all about the Walmart building, but I feel it's important that the facts are straight. Commissioner Fowler, I'm curious if you're aware that roughly 6 months before the commissioners voted to buy that building, the Department of, I forget what department it was the state and the Army Corps of Engineers had announced a project specifically for that creek that would have taken basically the corner that's in the floodplain, it would have removed that out of the flood zone. I just felt that was important that you knew about that.
They've been talking about that.
Since it was weather related, I figured I wanted to bring it up.
That's been on there for the last year and a half.
And then the other question I have is, and it's kind of a question that I have to bring up because of the Walmart building. Again, it's weather related, so forgive me, that's my focus. But I'm curious what happened with the plan before the Walmart building, before the Lockhart building, that was scheduled to add community service centers with storm shelters in Holiday and Big Sandy.
I believe that you'll have to go back and ask Mayor Lashley about that, but we, to our knowledge, we did not move forward with anything.
And then you bought one building. I just wanted to point that out. Thank you.
It's possible, but I believe that Mayor Lashley said he had trouble finding properties that would suit that were for sale. If I'm remembering
you were all over that with me when the storm shelters got mentioned. You were one of the commissioners that were like, let's do this, let's do this.
From what I recall, he was looking at properties in both ends of the county.
Correct.
And was having trouble finding properties that would suit and that were for sale. That's my recollection.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am.
Okay. Any other commissioners? We are on the commissioners forum. Anyone else? Okay, we're going to move on to number 4 on your agenda, which would have been our county mayor, our attorney, finance director, our guest. I will say, like Ward Plant mentioned, our mayor has got COVID, and we wish him the best and hope he recovers soon. And also, his employees in his office have also tested COVID. That's why his office is shut down. So we hope that they recover soon and get well. Our attorney, Mr. Johnson, he has a family sickness that was due to his mother-in-law, and that he could not attend tonight. Ms. Lori Brasher, do you have anything you would like to say at this time?
Not at this time.
Okay.
Ms. Chairperson, I'm here as well on behalf of Climate Vision.
Okay, I was going to get to you in just a few minutes. I wasn't going to pass you up, I promise.
Thank you.
Okay, at this time, I'm going to recognize Commissioner King. He has something here that he would like he wants to recognize
Dr. Shannon.
Dr. Shannon.
Would you please come up here? On behalf of the commission, we'd like to give this to you for our time here. Wow. And say thanks for helping us out. I am truly, truly humbled, and I'm sorry I wasn't here at the last one. I want to publicly thank Mayor Lashley for his generous gift. This is absolutely phenomenal. Gorgeous. I am humbled at your thought and consideration. Thank you so much for that.
Thank
Go in the paper. Angela, could you get a picture of that with them and get it in the paper, please? Thank you. That needs to go in the paper. That's gorgeous. And Terry, did you make that?
I did.
Wonderful.
I bought one of those same things from Terry to give my daughter to put in her classroom at the school. It's very nice, very nice.
I didn't know you made those, Jerry. I went on the work order list.
We got the right shirts on. We do, yeah. Great minds think alike. That's a flake.
I got Erica one of those to put inside criminal justice classroom.
All right, appreciate it.
Thank you so much.
Okay, next, we do have representatives here from Climate Vision. And, okay, if you'd like to come forward and introduce yourself.
Hi there. Hi, first of all, thanks for everyone for having me. My name is Tara Good. I handle our partnerships at Climavision. I've got Jonathan. Jonathan, at full transparency, Jonathan is very new to the team, so he's traveling with me today. And Emily, who's my other colleague, is not with me. She's on travel today, but many of the people in Benton County are familiar with working with her as well. I wanted to just make myself available. I'm happy to walk through the slides that you all have in front of you, or I think you all have them, but I'm here to answer questions, concerns related to the radar project. Thank you, Ben, for the comments earlier. I concur with everything. We exist at Climavision to fill gaps in weather surveillance. And just a quick maybe note on my background. I started my career, my life in public affairs, working with small towns and communities, counties, cities, et cetera, both on the West Coast and in the state of Alabama. So a lot of my work was cleaning up the natural disasters and helping the citizens respond to those and just deal with the aftermath, which is, gut-wrenching. And that is actually what led me into weather. I just wanted to be a sort of a part of the solution leading up to the event versus just having to clean it up afterwards. So we know we can't change weather. It's coming. It is what it is. But this is just one small step, one pretty significant tool in our toolkit that we can use to help provide advance warning. So, and maybe just a note on the lease. We start with templates because we work in so many states. I know that Mayor Lashley has shared some small changes or some things that maybe he's gotten feedback from the commission here about. We're happy to take care of those and word it to where the commission is comfortable with the wording. So that's, just wanted you to know that's not a deal breaker or anything for that, and it is no cost to the county. So with that, any questions, concerns, what can I answer?
So my question is, if we approve this, how long will it take for you to become operational?
We try to do it within a year. We have these regularly in production at our manufacturing plant in Alabama. Here in Tennessee, we'd want to be really careful about when we install it just based on the weather situation. But they are in production. We have to do it within a year. We would endeavor to do it faster than that if possible. Like I said, we've got, I think, 30 in production at the moment, and we're constantly adding to that. So I feel like we'd get it pretty quickly. Probably 7 to 8. I don't want to 100% say that without checking the schedule, but.
I have two questions.
Sure.
The first one would be, this addresses gaps in the national radar.
Mm-hmm.
So this unit would be reporting to the national radar locations and incorporating the data you're receiving with their data to give them a clearer picture. Is that my understanding?
That's correct. So we're in a CRADA, which is a cooperative research and development agreement with NOAA right now for them to pull in data from all of our radars, because we are bringing about 200 to 250 online, and so they are going to pull each of those as they light up into their network. That's their intention. So you would not, in Benton County, be responsible for any kind of warning. That obviously would flow through your National Weather Service partners. This data can help Public Works, it can help EMAs get a little bit more discrimination about what's happening on the ground, but you're exactly right. The information, the data would flow back to those who handle the warnings.
Okay, so that would relate with how fast our code red is able to send out a warning.
Correct, yes.
So that would directly correlate into that.
Anything in the code red system, anything that is tagged a warning is an automatic trigger. Anything that is tagged as a watch, I have to call Scott. Scott has to call Mr. Key, and then we have to manually type it in.
Okay, now I have a second question.
Sure.
A few weeks ago, we had a severe storm blow through here.
Correct.
I had hail the size of marbles
Right.
Yeah.
hit my house and grounds. And the next morning I came to work and our jail administrator showed me a picture taken from Carhartt of a tornado that almost...
It's not a tornado, let's stop right there.
Okay.
That went
It
out
looked
the line,
like a
and my day-
tornado.
Was it a
my
straight
next day
line?
turned to heck, because I was on the phone all day long, because somebody got on Facebook and started screaming and yelling that downtown Camden was destroyed by an EF3 tornado.
Well,
First, let me explain, that was a rotating wall cloud. In the
okay.
United States, there are roughly 50,000 rotating wall clouds every year.
It just
and less
looks like
than-
one.
Less than 5% put down a tornado.
Okay.
As part of your spotting network, before that storm was warned, even as a severe thunderstorm warning, our spotter network had a chaser on that storm before it ever hit this county. Before it was even warned, we had a chaser beneath that storm. This radar system, guess what? That eliminates us needing a spotter underneath that storm because we can see to the ground.
That's fantastic, because my question was, why didn't the air raid siren go off?
Yeah, so that,
That was not a tornado, it just looked like one.
yeah, exactly.
It was a scary picture though. It truly was.
Per the National Weather Service criteria, severe weather is indicated by three things. Winds gusts of 58 miles an hour or larger, hail 1 inch diameter or larger, and/or tornadoes. Tornadoes are included in every severe thunderstorm warning statement.
Okay, let's move on with Ms. Good and let her continue on with her presentation.
Okay. So I poured over your lease agreement, and it looks like there's no cost to taxpayers. So can I ask how you're funded?
So we do sell data to other industries, and we have a model. So for instance, like energy, transportation, UPS, shipping and logistics, they purchase weather for different purposes, right? So if you think of like an energy stack, they're, buying and selling power, they're trying to understand what's going to happen tomorrow and the next day, et cetera. So the more gaps that you feel, the higher the integrity of the model. So at the moment, the models that these commercial businesses can purchase they have gaps as well. So essentially what this does is allows us to underwrite the radar. It helps us to fund the infrastructure, do some good in a community, but then of course we've got to run the business. So we sell it to other industries. And there, National Weather Service, NOAA, would be a commercial partnership as well. So. Any other?
I thought it was cool you said that other departments could access that data from a data sharing standpoint. Do you think you ever would have to charge for that data standpoint? Or is that for
The counties that help us host our radar, any county official inside of that county accesses that data. There's no limitation to the entitlement, so if the school board needed it, if the police department needed it, if fire department, spotters, et cetera, it would be available to our partners.
And sometimes you have those introductory where they actually kick in later.
Yeah, we don't do that. Nope. Mm-mm.
Okay, I have a question. Sure. There was somewhere where I read that we would pay the electric bill, the county would pay the electric bill.
So some partners choose this, and this is not our typical model. We pay for everything, so let me just be clear about that. Some partners do not want us trenching in the ground to bring in another meter. So what they do is they will include us inside of their existing meter and then charge us for that monthly electric. That's a fine model too, just because maybe they want less disruption on their site. We pay for all of our utilities. Like for instance, we have a generator. It's just a little household generator. The system is low power, so it doesn't take a lot. If there's diesel available, we can do a diesel generator. If we need to bring in natural gas, we can do that as well. But again, that does involve some trenching if natural gas is available in the area, so as long as the partner's okay with that, we do that. We handle all the civil works. But if a partner is just not comfortable, like if I use Crossville, Tennessee, for example, we're putting one there. If they're not comfortable with us doing any disruption to the site, then we would just pay the bill back to the county that we're working with.
Are there any other repeaters or antennas on that tower now, or on that tank?
On that particular tank, I cannot remember. I'd have to go back and look at it. There often are. They're often co-located with our radar.
It's the airport's lights.
Okay. Yeah, okay. We run at a very, very high frequency, so we don't interfere with other antennas that are in the area. We run 92 to 9700.
That's what I was wondering.
Yeah.
Okay.
And we are licensed by the FCC too. I just want to make that clear as well.
So what you're saying is the county would not be liable for your electric bill?
No.
Okay, so then the lease agreement, cost of the lease, is there a cost to us for leasing?
No.
So what you're saying is there is no cost to the county for this?
Zero cost.
Zero cost, at all times, never going to come back and
No.
say, now it's changed, now you're going, okay.
No. The most important thing we need is help when we go to install the system. So we need someone to let us into the site. We coordinate with the site partner. How do you want us to get into the site? Do you want us to daisy chain it? Do you want to be there every day with us? It's completely up to the comfort level of the partner, but at no point would there be any cost to the partner.
Okay, why did you pick Benton County?
Because, because you're right in the center of the gap. So, you know, the circle that you saw on the screen earlier, to get the best meteorological application with that system, the systems that we're installing are X-band, so they are meant for gap filling. They have shorter range, but they have greater resolution. So, for instance, you can see the hail, where maybe you can't see that in a different kind of radar, and you are smack dab in the middle of the gap. And so that is the way that you get the best coverage, and you'll completely fill the gap.
Okay, and maybe I'm not understanding, but this does not replace Code Red?
No,
This
it does not.
works with?
This is a data source that would feed that.
To feed Code Red, okay.
Yeah, yeah. It's essentially a data source.
Okay, Commissioner Fowler?
Someone said y'all would probably take over the inspection of the water tank.
We're happy to do it. I mean, it's up to you guys. Some partners have like a third party, like a Suez or Utility Services, or there's another one, and the name is escaping me. We can do it. We're happy to do it. If you have a partner you prefer to work with, that's fine as well, because some have that like very long-term, lifetime contract.
So you sell your data to like the National Weather Service, so if we watch Channel 5, 4, 2, we'll get a better view of what's going on in our
Correct, yeah. Yeah, exactly. And then others would buy a model that radar feeds.
Well, I would like to say one thing is that we weren't aware of this. I don't know if any of the other commissioners had ever seen anything about this or not. The first time we saw this was when we received our packets.
Okay.
It was inside the packet.
Gotcha,
So
okay.
it's not being discussed.
I understand.
Very
Okay.
well.
Yeah, I understand. Okay. Happy to, I mean, my information is on there, so if there's any questions, we had some conversations with Interim Mayor Shannon and Mayor Lashley, and of course the Public Works team there. I think it's been an initiative you guys have been working on for a while, and I think we started talking last year sometime, but you guys have my information, so I'm happy to answer anything directly.
Okay.
Has the county lawyer looked at this lease?
I was just fixing to say.
I believe so.
He goes to the lease up there, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, because we received feedback from them.
I talked to him a few hours ago, he signed off on it.
Well, I was going to announce, he called and asked me to announce to you that he has reviewed this. He did make some changes. He and Dr. Shannon referred back and forth to each other about this lease, and I think Dr. Shannon was agreeable with the changes he made. Am I right?
Yeah.
So they have looked over the lease agreement, and they are okay with it. Commissioner King.
Would you be willing to change the 15 years to 5 years with a one-time 5-year thing? I think 30 years is a long time to commit to something.
I totally understand. We'd be happy to look at whatever term you guys were most comfortable with. The reason we start with longer term is it is it's about a 2-week install. Once it's up there, it's so high up, right? And then every time you take it down, you certainly suffer the loss in the data. But whatever you guys were comfortable with. We typically do the 10, 15, 20. We have some partners doing 20 with another 20, but I'm open to whatever you guys are comfortable with.
Thank you.
Okay. Commissioner Hill.
Is this something we're deciding tonight, or will we come back next month with a more set resolution to vote on?
I was going to say that it will be up to the commission tonight if you want to table this and maybe look into changing the agreement on the years, and then we can bring it back, or it's up to you commission tonight, how we move with this, so. Mr. Richardson, you're recognized again.
Sorry to bring, again, Madam Speaker, I'm sorry to bring this up, but if you go back and look at the Big Sandy Town Hall meeting, meetings, the town hall meetings, roughly 2 years ago, this project was discussed. This exact project was discussed and has been being discussed in the weather community for over 2 years now. This is 2 years in the works.
But it wasn't presented to the commission.
Commissioners weren't part of the
Yeah.
town hall meetings, I'm unsure, but I can guarantee you this. If you all decide tonight that Climate Vision, you want to wait, you don't want to meet their 15 years, or you want to wait another month or another 6 months, I guarantee you, they're going to go to Henry County tomorrow and they're going to sign the contract. I can guarantee you that, knowing Ron the way I do, this contract will be signed at Henry County tomorrow.
We'll let her speak. We'll let Ms. Good speak for
We'll no
that.
longer have access to that data.
We will let her speak for that, okay?
Keep that in mind.
Okay. Do you want to respond to that?
Listen, I want the commission to be comfortable. We certainly are anxious to get the radar tagged for Benton County. We've been working with Benton County. At this time, we haven't spoken to anybody else. If you did decline the offer, we would need to go somewhere nearby. But I want you guys to feel comfortable with the agreement. I don't want anyone to feel like their hand is forced. I share the sense of urgency just because I'm in weather. So if I didn't, that would probably be an issue. But I want you guys to feel comfortable with the partnership, but certainly want to get that radar
If
going.
this was tabled just for 1 month, are you saying you would not give us a chance to come back next month and vote on the lease agreement?
I will give you a chance to come back and vote on the lease agreement, correct?
Okay, thank you. So we all heard her say that, didn't we?
So you will be back.
Yes, I just live in Kentucky, so.
Commissioner Furr?
That was my question that you just asked. If we decided to table this till next month, are they going to go look somewhere else and get somebody else and we're out to lose?
No, sir. Like I said, if you guys need a month to sit on that.
And it's not we're declining it, it's just some
I understand.
lease agreements or the time frame.
Yeah, and if next month you decide you're not comfortable, then we'll adjust from there.
I think everyone is comfortable with it. I think it was just kind of thrown on us quickly without having time to discuss it.
I understand.
So,
sure.
But
I think it's the greatest thing we've ever had, something that ain't gonna cost nothing for the protection of the citizens.
I think it's great too.
I know Roseanne, we went
I'm not
to your daughter's
against it.
house, and tornado, this might have helped us, got a little cover before, so it's a no-brainer
That's
to
right.
me, ma'am, I'm gonna tell you. Just
Thank you,
thank you, and I'm proud to see it come myself. It's another tool.
Code Red saved my daughter's life, I will say that.
I remember, ma'am.
So, okay, the floor is open to however the commission wants to move with this tonight. Commissioner Hicks, I'm sorry.
Thank you, guys.
If everybody's in agreement, while she's here, it'd be the best time to discuss this. If everybody wants like a 5-year or a 15-year lease agreement, I think you're not going to get no better time than tonight to discuss it.
Okay, can you make that decision tonight that you would agree to change this lease
Yeah.
agreement to?
So you're authorized to make that change.
I am.
Then I'd like to make a motion to change 15 years to 5 renewal unless we give written notice.
I'll second.
Okay. Who made that second? Okay. So we have a motion on the floor to change in the lease agreement from 15 years to 5 years. And how else, with what, Commissioner Hill?
It says in here that it would renew without notice unless we give unless there's written notice given within 90 days of the renewal date.
Okay, what page
That's
are you?
already in there.
What page are you on?
I'm on page 2, area 4, extension of term.
Madam Chair?
Yes.
Can we close out this section so we can move on to this particular section so we can put it on the computer?
Yeah.
Okay. I just wanted you to officially close this section and move on to the next.
Okay, plus, you want me to do what?
Because number 7.
Okay, okay. What we need,
No, sir. And yeah, and if we have a 1-year renewal, or I'm sorry, a 1-term renewal of 5 years, we could certainly come back and keep it up there.
I'm fine leaving that extension at 15 years. I think at the end of 5 years, we'll know whether or not we want to keep it or not.
Yeah.
I'd say no. We stick with 5 and 5.
Yeah, just renew it every 5 years. If we tell them, no, we don't want it, then we don't renew it, but if they don't hear from us, it carries on and renews itself.
Yeah, and if you were okay with it, we'd love the opportunity that maybe after each 5-year session, like you said, to continue the partnership, rather than it just ending at then that way it can just stay.
Okay, so you will accept the change in the lease agreement tonight, if we vote to change that? Okay. Commissioner Ferguson?
Yeah, I agree with him. Well, what's wrong with 15? You done said you don't like it, anything you write, you dog it off.
It's got resolution number on it and all that, and this is not in the resolution. I think we all agree that we want it.
Okay.
We want to get legally correct in everything we are doing.
Yes, that makes sense.
Can we suspend the rules at the end of the meeting and cover this under other business like we will the PRDD business? I mean, it's a lease agreement, it's not a financial agreement. I would think we should be able to suspend the rules and adopt it under that.
Yeah, I think we can do that. I think that's what we should do.
It's on here on number 1 to vote on, is it not?
Number 7. Yeah, but it's not a resolution.
It's not a resolution.
Right, because
It's not a resolution or
lease agreement, it's not a resolution.
Yeah,
So Chairman, does your screen reflect I want to speak?
no, sir. Now it does. Okay, let us resolve what we're talking about right now, and then we'll recognize you, okay? We're talking about whether or not this needs to be a resolution. There's no financial money involved in this. It doesn't say on our agenda under number 4 that we will be voting on the lease agreement. So I think we need to suspend the rules.
Number 7 says approval of the lease agreement.
It does.
Okay, well then we will move on to number 7 after we have 5 and 6, okay? And we'll take it up right there. Okay. Commissioner Preston.
Commissioner Preston, Chairman, I want the minutes to reflect that I support this lease agreement as is written. I'm
Okay.
going to say it again. I want the record to reflect I support the lease agreement as written.
Right, have you got that, Madam Clerk?
I second.
Okay.
I'm sorry, I have to take blood pressure pills for this.
Okay, thank you, and we will get to that. It's number 7, and we're almost there, okay?
Thank you. Thank you guys for the time today. Appreciate it.
Thank you. Thank you.
Number 5 on our agenda is the approval of the minutes from the previous meeting. Need a motion and a second. A motion by Commissioner Stokes and a second by Commissioner Ferguson. All in favor of approving the minutes, please vote.
Anyone wish to change their vote? 14 yes. Motion carries.
Okay, next is the approval of the report of the public utilities. I have a motion by Commissioner Hicks and a second by Commissioner Ferguson. All in favor? Please vote.
Mr. Brett? Mr. Burke?
Anyone wish to change their vote? Motion carries 14 yes.
Okay, now we are at number 7, which is approval of the lease agreement and partnership with Climavision Operating LLC. So now, Commissioner Hill, would you like to make your motion to amend this lease agreement?
Yes,
Okay.
I'd like to change on page 2 in section 3 and section 4, where 15 years shall be changed to 5 years.
Ms. Hill, will you press the button on your tablet so we can...
I did.
I've got a motion, but not a second.
Okay, do we have a second on this? I think Commissioner King, did you not second that a few minutes ago?
I did.
Oh, Commissioner Fowler did.
Okay, so now technically...
It don't matter as long as it gets done.
Okay.
Amending 5 years to 5 years, right?
15 years to 5 years.
15 years. Is that the only change, Madam Chair?
Yes.
Yes, that's the only change. Okay, now we have the amendment and a second, so now we will be voting on the amendment.
So we're voting for the amendment.
Yeah, for the amendment. Commissioner Plant?
Anybody wish to change their vote? We have 11 yes, 3 no, and 4 absent.
Okay, the amendment passes. Okay, now we will go back and we will vote on this lease agreement as we amended it. So if you're for the lease agreement as it is amended, please vote.
Hold on one second, it's freezing up on us. Got a keyboard? Okay, there we go.
Okay, I think they're ready for us to vote now.
Yep.
Anybody wish to change their vote? Motion carries 14 yes. As amended.
Okay, and thank you very much. Okay, now we're down to number 8 on our agenda, which is a resolution making appropriations for the various funds, departments, institutions, offices, and agencies of Benton County for the year beginning July 1, 2022 and ending June 30, 2023. We have a motion by Commissioner Hicks and a second by Commissioner Stokes. Any questions on the floor? Okay, this is the budget that we're voting on. I don't see any questions, so everyone vote, please. What? Did you want to say something? Okay.
We're going to vote on the budget now.
Yeah, yes, this is what we started voting on.
Can I say something before we do this?
You may.
I just got a few things I want to run over y'all with this budget before we vote it in. And Budget Committee, I don't envy your job at all, or any of you commissioners. And I don't want you to ever think that I'm shaming anybody or pointing a finger at anybody, because I don't mean it that way. I just want to make sure that I'm clear on some things that was in our budget. It was showing, and I brought this up to Law Enforcement Committee the other night, that the budget was showing there was 4 slots for school resource officers, and there was 5 slots for deputies. But there was no money, no anything put in it. Was that just a misprint?
No, those were actually put there back when we were trying to get the grants for the SRO officers, and those grants have run out. So those were not put in to hire new officers for those positions.
So those positions I don't need to be trying to fill, correct?
At this time, no, we do not have the funds to do that.
That's what I wanted to make clear, because I'm getting a lot of pressure from the general public about with all the school shootings and stuff that's been going on about hiring school resource officers and why we're not doing it. And I just wanted to make sure, because that was in there, so I wanted to get that clear, why we're not putting more deputies on the road. We don't have the money. We can't afford to. I understand that we don't have it, but I just wanted to make that clear, because for some reason it come back on the sheriff that I didn't want them, and we definitely do need them, and I wish we had them in every school, and I wish we had the extra deputies. So every year I come and ask for extra deputies, and I ask for school resource officers, but we don't get them. And like I said, I don't envy your job. On the COVID money, when we decide to do something with the COVID money, the surrounding counties, most of the counties, all of the corrections officers, sheriff's department, first responders, everybody involved that had to go ahead and work through the times with COVID they're giving them a bonus. And I'd like for us to seriously consider that as this COVID money rolls around. They're giving them a bonus where if you worked at the courthouse or other offices and stuff, you could go home and work from home. Well, we were still going in people's houses and picking people up and working wrecks, crawling in cars and stuff with them, and right there breathing everything they was breathing. And they come into the office up there, and a lot of people came in up there, had COVID, and we did our best with the inmates to keep it out, and we did a pretty good job. We only had one short outbreak of it. So we done real good on that. So when that comes up, I would like for us to think about doing that. And on the cars, Mr. Melton and I have discussed this, and I appreciate y'all trying to get us some cars this year. We're in desperate need. The ones that we ordered last year have still not come in. So they keep promising every couple of weeks that we're going to get them. So there's an update on that. But that was 4, and I understand in this budget that it's going to show that we can get 5, and I appreciate those cars, but we're still going to be short.
The budget has a set amount of money. It does not have a set number of cars.
Okay.
And hopefully, if you can get 7, great. If you can get 8, whatever, but get the set amount of money.
Hopefully that, with the numbers as they've been going up and the prices I've been calling on, that should get us about 5. I want to answer a question too about this before we go any further. When Mr. Bates came down and discussed that we were supposed to put 4 more correctional officers on to be in compliance with state regulations, we haven't done that. And I've been asked why we're not holding state inmates because of the money that it involves and brings in. I spoke with the jail inspector when he came by. I believe it's been 3 weeks now since he was here. And he told me I was absolutely correct in not taking in any state inmates, holding any more than what we had, because we was leaving ourselves liable for a lawsuit because we didn't have proper staffing to take care of them. And so that's the reason that I'm not, and I wanted to make sure that we all understood that. We took them in before. We made a lot of money off of it. It went very well, but the jail and the sheriff's department didn't receive any of that. It didn't reflect back on us. So I just want all of you to know that's why we're not holding any more state inmates. I think we're holding about maybe 10, and he just suggested, I asked him should I take any in or not, and he said, you're leaving yourself liable. If you don't have the staffing the state requires, then I wouldn't take any more in. Should something happen, which it very well could, he said, should something happen, he said, then I think you could be held liable because you took them in knowing you didn't have staff to take care of them. That's all I've got. I appreciate the time.
Okay, any other? Okay, then we're ready to vote. This is the number 1 resolution of the budget. If you're for this or not, please vote.
Point of interest, Chairman. Aren't we just voting on the tax rate right now?
No, these are the expenditures.
Okay, thank you.
It's number 1.
Thank you.
Anyone wish to change your vote? Resolution passes 14 yes.
Okay, number 2 is the resolution fixing the tax levy in Benton County, Tennessee for the year beginning July 1, 2022. We'll have a motion by Commissioner Hicks and a second by Commissioner Ferguson. Any questions? Okay, I see none, so please vote.
Anyone wish to change your vote? Motion carries 14 yes.
Number 10 is resolution making appropriations to nonprofit charitable organizations of Benton County, Tennessee for the year beginning July 1, 2022 and ending June 30, 2023. I have a motion by Commissioner Stokes and a second by Commissioner Ferguson. Any questions about this one? Okay, if none, please vote.
Anyone wish to change their vote? Motion carries 14 yes.
Okay, next is resolution number 4, which is 11 on the agenda. It's a resolution to have the property committee procure bids and select a vendor to make necessary repairs and/or improvements to the sheriff's office roof in the upcoming 2022-23 fiscal year. Motion by Commissioner Stokes and a second by Commissioner Ferguson. Any questions?
Yes, I keep pressing on it, won't let me.
Okay.
There needs to be an amendment to this resolution.
Okay, is that what you were going to say, Commissioner Ferguson?
Yes.
Okay.
Need somebody second
Okay, make your amendment, please.
Okay, on the second paragraph, the second whereas, excuse me, project cost over $10,000. Cross off the last and by first getting specs and scope of work with an architect.
Through the county architect.
Yeah,
Okay.
through the county architect.
So how we are amending this is at the end of that paragraph, mark out and then it will say,
I've got a copy to give them so it'll be easier.
okay, good.
You're welcome.
It will say by first obtaining specs and scope of work through the county architect, period. So we have a motion by Commissioner Hill and a second by Commissioner Stokes to amend this resolution. So now we will vote on the amendment.
Roseanne,
Yes?
also, that needs to go to the mayor's office, not the property committee on casting out bid. That's got to be legally done through the proper vendors out there when you're taking the bid. It'll get all in circles by letting the property committee retain the bid. That need to be changed to
Well,
go
the
to the
bids would
mayor's.
go to the mayor's office, but when we had the last project, the property committee reviewed the bids and made a decision.
I think we're trying to overrun the mayor all
This
the way
doesn't
around.
say anything about the property committee, Mr.
It does, it
Ward.
says the property committee to go out for bids. You're on 11, is that right? Resolution to have the property committee procedure bid and select a vendor to make necessary, how do they do that?
That's not a part of the resolution, that's just a heading. If you read the resolution, it does not say.
Remove that part then. The property committee shouldn't have nothing to do with the bid. They may look at the bid after he comes in.
That doesn't say it in the resolution, that's not what you're voting on. So.
I read it. That's
Okay.
what I'm going by. It's on there.
Did we vote on the amendment? We have.
Can I make one announcement?
Yes.
I do have one announcement. If you guys know that you're about to do an amendment before the meeting, if you could email it to Wanda, that makes our lives so much easier, and we can actually get through the meetings quicker. So just future reference on that.
Okay. So now we are voting on the amendment.
So voting on the amendment, right?
Yes.
As amended, right?
Yeah, as amended.
Well, this is the amendment.
The amendment.
Anyone wish to change their vote? We have 13 yes and 1 no. Amendment passes.
The amendment passed. Now we will vote on this resolution as amended. A motion by Commissioner Stokes and Commissioner Ferguson.
As amended, Steve. But as amended. We ready, Mr. Chair?
Okay, yes, we're ready to vote.
Mr. Miller has a question.
I'm reading down here on, now therefore it be resolved by the Board of Commissioners of Benton County, Tennessee, assembled in regular session this 21st day of June, 2022, that the property committee be charged with procuring bids and selecting a vendor to complete the work needed to repair the sheriff's office roof in the upcoming 2023 fiscal year. Does that not say that the property committee?
Commissioner Hill, would you like to explain that like you explained it a few minutes ago?
Okay, the last time there was bids needed for the sheriff's office, it went through the property committee. That wasn't a slight on anyone. The sheriff just thought the property committee handled those things.
This says, be charged with procuring bids and selecting the vendor.
Okay,
I
and
thought that it went like water over. I thought all that went through the mayor's office after we.
well, if it doesn't,
After
we'll
we-
change it to mayor. I mean, that's just the last time there was something that needed to be bidded, the property committee did.
It doesn't make any difference.
I think it would go to the mayor's office anyway. After the bids
I'm saying,
Bids went to
that's
the
not what
mayor's
resolution
office,
says.
but
After the bids are open, it would go to the mayor.
Is that different? I know I'm on the highway committee, and when we take bids for tons of gravel, we open the bids and the committee decides.
Right.
School and highway department are different than the mayor's office.
Chairman.
You're taking it every bit from the mayor when you do this. I mean, that's his job.
I don't think anybody's trying to take anything from
Unless
the
you
mayor.
change, I asked you to change it. You said it wasn't in there, but it's black and white right there.
The sheriff is the one that brought the resolution. Let's hear what the sheriff has to say.
What I was trying to do in this, Commissioners, is I thought that's what the property committee was for. We can get them to look at the bids. I actually told them, take your bids, mail it to the sheriff, mail it to the mayor's office, seal bids, let the property committee look at it, and then take it to the mayor to make a decision on. I'm not trying to slide anybody. I just thought that's what the property committee was for. They needed to be involved if we was going to do anything with any physical property.
Well, we haven't voted on it as it was amended yet, so if you would like to make an amendment to change that, we can still have another amendment, if you want to.
I'd like to amend it to remove
Just so
the property
everybody's-
committee and add to the mayor.
Okay.
I mean, and reason I'm not doing it so much on that, he's in charge for wrongful bid, to getting out the bids, who goes, and put it in the paper, who's qualified to do it. And that way it's all.
Press your button
Yeah.
for amendment.
Yeah. Okay, so now state your amendment,
I need a
Mr.
second for your amendment before I can work on it.
I need a second.
Okay, Kenneth Miller, second.
If you also.
So how do you want that to read,
Well, it
Mr.
should
Plant?
be remove anything from the property committee, and it should be added by the mayor. And then the mayor, if he wants to give it to the property committee to do that, would be fine.
Okay, so you want to remove property committee and put that the mayor?
Yes.
Okay.
And even the last subject there, and therefore, as he said, it says right there to the property committee.
That
ought to
the
be
mayor be charged with procuring bids and selecting a vendor. Okay, so all in favor of this amendment? Vote yes or no. Are you ready? Okay.
Voting on the amendment.
The second amendment.
Second amendment.
I do have a question. So you're saying you want the mayor to open those sealed bids and make a decision rather than the property committee reviewing those bids and making a decision, correct?
What I'm saying, if the mayor wants to involve the property committee with it, when he opens them, he is the one to dedicate where the bid goes out for them to see. He's got a list in there that's people that's done work. How would you know that somebody come back and they sued the county because they didn't involve? He's got a list, so he needs to be the one to put out for the bid.
No, I'm fine with that, but I'm saying when the bids come in, what you're saying is you want the mayor to open them and the mayor to make that decision, or do you want the property commission to?
He should open it, and he's gonna be in charge of it. He is in charge of the money.
So he's a roofer and he understands all the things required
I'm
for
sure he
roofing.
does. He's been in it for
I don't
4
see
years.
he'd have any problem opening it before the
He's
property.
been doing it before, but he can open it to property. You
Okay,
can
I just
request
want,
that.
I just wanted to understand your amendment.
Put it in there.
Okay, we've got it in there, so it's time to vote.
Ms. Rochelle?
I'm thinking.
Anyone wish to change their vote? 6 yes, 8 no. Majority failed.
Amendment fails, yeah.
Amendment failed on.
Okay, the second amendment has failed.
Yes, the second, sorry.
Okay, now we will go back this time and vote on the resolution with the first amendment that was passed in the resolution.
And then second amendment fails.
mayor just will go to the House.
Ready? Voting as amended for the First Amendment and the Second Amendment failed.
Okay.
Now, can I ask a question, Roseanne?
Yes?
The property committee voted to get the architect or engineers, and that's what we're voting on, right? To get what he says, not for the property committee to go get the bids.
Right.
Because I was understanding that we would just get the report from him and then give it to the mayor and the mayor decide.
Is that right?
That's what you
Chairman?
understand.
We voted for the amendment for the architect or engineer to look at the roof, get the bid specs, and then it will be bid out. We did not intend that we were going to bid it out, but that's what we voted to do, is have them get the bids. The mayor's fine to put the bids out. I don't see a problem with that under the amendment of the resolution. Is that what you were understanding, Brett?
That's why I was just trying to get clear, Roseanne.
Okay.
Anyone wish to change your vote? It's 13 yes and 1 no.
Okay.
Pass.
That one passed. We're going to take a 10-minute break.
But that's not what you said in the committee.
You're missing what? Oh.
No, I'm on the property committee, and I voted. That's what I'm saying. We voted to get somebody to tell us what's wrong with it first, and then go to the mayor with it. I can see the engineer giving. Yeah. But what I understood was we went the engineer to give us what was wrong with it, and then give that to the mayor.
How do you know it right? After he's gone.
Yeah, he's gonna do it.
But I mean, how would you not tell the mayor to have you look at it?
That's not what they're trying to
No, that's not what we're saying. That's not what we're saying.
I see it right there plain reading. It's all.
You're gonna be surprised how many.
I read it, and I was confused when I read it.
I mean,
I wouldn't have ever thought anybody
that's
would.
your property committee.
Which way are you going? And I'm sorry.
But procedure being, it's right there.
I did. I said, I'm sorry. I thought you were talking about this up here. Yeah.
Take the mayor's job away.
Well, I don't think that was, I mean, I wouldn't have thought that was.
We did at the property committee.
It'll go to the
You was there. We did.
The property committee voted to get these specs and all that, and then they'll put out the bids and it'll go.
Maybe that's what this hard work, man, they go.
He will be in charge of it.
He has to check for it.
He'll be in charge of that. I will say this, I don't see nothing wrong with it. If anybody on the property committee wants to go up there the day they open them, they got the right to go up there, isn't that right? If they want to be there. If they want to go, they go.
They say, like we always do, say the opening at 1 o'clock on Friday PM, let them be there. He's about any of
See, and that's one thing I have to say, is that they would be there, and it should be done like that. And they're not gonna say it'll be open at the property committee.
Oh, some good cake, eh?
They are.
I'm at the county 2 hours ago. I'm in a meeting there. She's up at the bar.
Yeah, there's like.
She could come down and take a shower. I know that. And I'm at the meeting.
Only give you the yes and
She's been there without a car.
Well, I tell you what, I was saying. I don't know where I got this. One of these.
We'll do that, okay? Say that
I'm so good, I tell you that.
It's because I can't type. and change it back.
Roseanne, we've been working on that thing for 2 or 3
Where are
years.
those cupcakes? Give me, oh.
I don't know where I saw it, but I saw somewhere, that's why I asked. That the county was gonna pay the electric bill. That's the only thing I was concerned about.
Yeah, is there any more gone? I'm changing my mind after looking at this.
Miss Kim, named Sharp, she was Kim, then she remarried after he died. Sabrina Sharp.
What did I say, was cheesecake?
92-year-old.
Hey, Stephen, can we have one of those?
Oh, yeah, I remember. Yeah, my mother days used to buy.
Oh, you're welcome. You know what we can do to help.
He died at 48. I thought he was
What's her, how old is she?
I just turned 67. What are
Now we don't think that's that old to die, do we? To me now, dying's like,
my mother died at 62 and I done outlived her. I just, she was just old, ready to go. I want to be that way with you.
I knew I don't know, I hadn't planned for it well enough.
No, I tell you what, I think that all the time, but
I talked to my sister, because I'm like, I guess 5. Think about these things.
Those are good.
I worked her at the soccer game.
Did she say make those?
I didn't hear you. It's the best. You'll be surprised.
The girl that came for the tonight. We know you're there. Which I started my ride. So I never Oh, those were amazing. I did not need all that sugar.
That's great.
Randy's got his first tea. Leela called me this morning. I'm excited. 2 little tears from the dogs. She heard that? Oh, tell me you got a picture of
It's a good story. It's a lot involved. Oh, they come from
Did you get you one?
Oh, man. I go up there every year. That's all the thing.
I'm usually at the Charitable We are, but, you know, I've been that was more No, I get it. We're used to what we're used to. Traditions.
I didn't have a dog in that race.
Hey, there's 4 people absent, eat 2 of them.
What else? Find him. Come across from
There's a trash can up there in front.
Thursdays, I go in there. Diane, she'll got touch.
I bought those and Calvin. That all was
Hey.
Yeah, I was close. Yeah, I read that. Cupcakes is a big hit. Yeah, I read
Well, they don't come back to us for lease unless we tell them. I mean, it's automatic. So they really didn't make a whole lot of difference. You understand?
I see a tissue. It's a book. I thought it was a tissue box. Hey, there's some over here though.
When I went and got all them tissues, I got like 50 cents, whatever, how many people I got. Only 5 people wanted to buy one, the rest of them didn't. But nobody wanted to spend any money down there. And that's the people in the district. And that's why I voted that way, because that's what they said. But I wasn't here to hear what they were saying. Randy was already here when I got here.
But he didn't come with a heavy duty authorization. So we had to agree on that. It didn't need to have put on
I don't know. I mean, I wanted to listen to beginning what's going in it. Who knows? Who said they wanted to go in with it? You was here when I asked him. I said, is it either? And he said we had a vote on it, or we, we'd lose the money.
Probably not.
And like I said,
Okay, everybody, our time's up. Okay, our recess is over and our break, so we'll move on to resolution number 5, which is 12 on the agenda. It's a resolution to increase the threshold over which public advertisement and sealed competitive bids or proposals are required to an amount not to exceed $25,000 for non-emergency, non-proprietary purchases for the Benton County School System beginning on July 6th. I have a motion by Commissioner Stokes and a second by Commissioner Melton. Any questions?
Yes.
Commissioner Hill.
I have a question for Mr. Florence. I questioned this when it came up because it seems like a huge jump from 10,000 to 25,000, but the state has raised that ceiling, and looking at inflation and stuff, I can see the need for that. My question is, when you're making purchases of this magnitude, does the school board review it and vote on it as a body?
Yes, but when this Senate Bill 2486 and House Bill 2600, which was passed this past legislative session, allows us to go up to 25,000. Last year, it was actually passed, but then in the way the legislation works, they put a clause in that it had to be for any system with over 40,000 citizens. Well, that made it about 5 systems. So the legislation went back and looked at it. I mean, I don't mean this ugly, but we can't hardly pay the school for $10,000.
Right, but...
And that is the reason. Anytime we make a purchase, now, if we had to, with this, just like with 10,000, we could make a purchase without the board's approval. But obviously, anytime we make a purchase, the board is aware of it.
Okay, that was my question, is that it wouldn't just be one person making those calls, the board would be involved.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Any other questions? If none, please vote.
Anyone wish to change their vote? 14 yes, motion carries.
Number 13 on your agenda is a resolution to transfer excess payroll funds in the amount of $26,500 within the Benton County Sheriff's Jail budget. I have a motion by Stokes and a second by Commissioner Ferguson. Anyone want to ask a question? If not, please vote.
Rochelle, could you tell me the abstain? You abstain?
Yes, my
Conflict?
husband works in the jail, and I feel that would be a conflict since it involves benefits.
Thank you. Anyone else wish to change their vote? Motion carries 13 yes, 1 abstain.
Okay, number 13, let's see, that was number 13. Now, number 14 is resolution number 7. It's to transfer excess payroll funds in the amount of $23,133 within the Benton County Sheriff's budget. Motion by Commissioner Hicks and a second by Commissioner Melton. Any questions? If none, please vote yes or no.
Rochelle, the same, abstain.
Yes, except on my side, my payroll comes from that budget.
Thank you. Anyone else wish to change their vote? Motion carries 13 yes and 1 abstain.
Number 15 on the agenda, resolution to transfer funds in the amount of $225,000 within the Benton County Schools budget. We have a motion by Commissioner Stokes and a second by Commissioner Ferguson. Any questions? If none, please vote.
Gary Fur. Anyone wish to change their vote? Motion carries 14 yes.
Number 16, resolution to transfer funds in the amount of $1,000 within the Benton County Animal Shelter budget. A motion by Commissioner Hicks and a second by Commissioner Stokes. Any questions? If none, please vote.
Anyone wish to change their vote? Motion carries 14 yes.
Number 17, resolution to transfer funds in the amount of $1,000 within the Benton County Economic and Community Development budget. I have a motion by Commissioner Hicks and a second by Commissioner Stokes. Any questions? If none, please vote.
Anyone wish to change their vote? Motion carries 14 yes.
Number 18, resolution to transfer funds in the amount of $6,000 within the Benton County Public Library budget. We have a motion by Commissioner Hicks and a second by Commissioner Melton. Do we have any questions? If none, please vote.
Anyone wish to change their vote? Motion carries 14 yes.
Number 19 on your agenda is a resolution to transfer funds in the amount of $445 within the county general fund in order to cover Social Security's, Medicare, and state retirement accounts. I have a motion by Commissioner Stokes and a second by Commissioner Melton. Any questions? If none, please vote. Oh, I'm sorry.
Anyone wish to change their vote? Motion carries 14 yes.
Number 20 is a resolution to transfer funds in the amount of $1,000 within the county commissioner's budget. I have a motion by Commissioner Nunnery and a second by Commissioner Stokes. Any questions? If none, please vote.
Madam Chair.
Anyone wish to change their vote? Motion carries 14 yes.
Number 21, resolution to transfer funds in the amount of $2,300 within the county general fund in order to cover autopsies for the remainder of the fiscal year. I have a motion by Commissioner Melton and a second by Commissioner Ferguson. Any questions or? Okay, there's none, so please vote.
Anyone wish to change their vote? Motion carries 14 yes.
Number 22, resolution to budget funds received in the amount of $200 within the Benton County Sheriff's budget. A motion by Commissioner Melton and a second by Commissioner Ferguson. Any questions? If none, please vote.
Anyone wish to change their vote? Motion carries 14 yes.
Number 23, resolution to budget funds received in the amount of $10,000 within the Benton County Schools budget. Motion by Commissioner Ferguson and a second by Commissioner Melton. Any questions about this? If none, please vote.
Anyone wish to change your vote? Motion carries 14 yes.
Okay, number 24, which we've already amended. We'll read resolution to budget funds received in the amount of $1,050 within the Benton County Airport budget. And it was correct on the resolution to begin with.
What was that number again, Madam Chair? 1,000?
$1,050.
Go on, change it real quick.
We had a motion by Commissioner Melton and a second by Commissioner Stokes.
There you go.
Okay, so all in favor, please vote. Number 15, Oh, I'm sorry.
Anyone wish to change their vote? Motion carries 14 yes.
Number 15, resolution to appropriate funds in the amount of $5,500 from the unassigned fund balance within Fund 122 Drug Control. This one is new money, so it will take a 2/3 vote. We have a motion by Commissioner Melton and a second by Commissioner Stokes. Any questions about it?
I do.
Commissioner Stokes?
On this, I believe there may be a grant that will cover, is that correct?
We've applied for the grant that will hopefully reimburse the full amount back into the drug fund, but the bill does need to be paid as it occurred.
Okay, just wanted to check.
Any other questions? Commissioner King?
Sheriff, you did state that Metal would be able to continue to do his job.
We believe he's going to. He's coming along real good. He's got his balance and everything from amputating a leg. And there's 2 or 3 dogs out here that the same thing has happened to. I think it's from loading and unloading them in the car the way they do. But I believe he's going to be fine. It looks like he is.
Okay.
We'll be putting him back on the road in about 3 weeks to find out.
Good.
Anyone else?
Is that the total bill on that?
Yes, the bill was within the amount specified in the quote. What I looked at just before that meeting was a list of everything he had done with this huge price tag, but when I got back in the office the next day and reviewed it, that bill was within the amount they specified.
Well, I knew we had talked about it. Thank you.
Yeah.
Any others, questions? If none, please vote.
Anyone wish to change their vote? Motion carries 14 yes.
Number 26 is a resolution to appropriate funds in the amount of $3,000 from the unassigned fund balance within the county general fund to cover waste tire disposal fees. Motion by Commissioner Melton, and a second by Commissioner Stokes. Any questions? Okay, I see none, so everyone vote, please.
Rocky. Anyone wish to change their vote? Motion carries 14 yes.
Next is the appointing of notaries. We have 3, Barry Keith Arnold, Darla Burns, and B. Carola Keene. That's Mr. King's wife. We have a motion by Commissioner Stokes and a second by Commissioner Ferguson. All in favor of the notaries, vote.
Darrell Peak. Anyone wish to change their vote? We got 13 yes and 1 abstain.
Mr. Keene, it is because it's your wife, correct?
Yeah.
Okay, notaries approved. We're down to number 28, which is any other business. So this is where we will need a motion to suspend the rules to take care of the TRRD board money transfer.
We may actually,
I think you're going to have to.
Okay.
I think it's a non-issue. The last statement of expenditures that I had from Ashley, which is dated May 23rd, you had budgeted $240,000 to go to them during the year. And as of May 23rd, you only spent $136,000 of it. So you had over $100,000 of it still in the funds that were budgeted to be spent. So it should have been a non-issue for them to just go to Ashley's office and request the money.
Okay. Mr. Stokes, you okay with that since you're on the board?
Perfectly fine.
Okay. So everybody's okay with that, so we've got that settled.
Thank you.
Okay. Then that's it for tonight, unless we got any other business? Any other business? Then I'll obtain a motion to adjourn.
Second.
Okay.
Ferguson and Stephen.
Yeah.
All in favor?
All in favor, please vote on your tablets, please, to adjourn.
Is it a voice vote?
Voice vote. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Any opposed?
Opposed.
Only had one.
I don't know, Rocky.
I didn't hear that. That was a joke, wasn't it, Rocky? Rocky.
Hey, before I leave here, I'm going to probably have more fun than anybody in this building. But ain't no hurry.
No, what had happened was, right before it was time to go to the meeting, the invoice came in.
Do you want that back?
It's Glenn Williams. You got the whole
Have Jones get in that.
You're welcome. The cupcakes, boy, they were good.
Mackenzie. It's a good thing they're far away, because I mean. Hey, those were the best cupcakes, Nikki. Oh, I'm about to grab those and stuff. They're like, I want to do something like a 5K, and I'm like, Donna, I need that bag.
There's a sweet.
I'm going to go talk to him just a minute.
Last invoice had come in like right before I was leaving to go to my committee meeting, and I just had time to open it, and I just looked at a figure and went, oh my gosh.
Great, thank y'all for having my back.
Good bicycles, they just about 80 miles an hour. Battery, you see them?
I got a Harley, it's 40-something miles to the gallon.
That's what I broke it down.
I'm gonna head home. You guys have a good evening. Bye,
I don't have to.
To understand all that. I'm just like, I'm trying to find one. Something small again. Like if she can see me. Oh my God.